Gardeners, beware of social media, gardening tips and hacks. Surprise, surprise, they don't all work. Watch this full video. I don't want you to miss anything. I'm going to plant some important seeds, pun intended, of things you should think about when you see an awesome video and you're excited and you want to try something. These are some things that you should be thinking about before you give it a go and give it a grow. So, number one, many of these videos are often missing important details that make or break whether or not it's going to work or it's going to fail, okay? So what I recommend is if you watch a video, it piques your interest, you want to give something a try, spend a few minutes, maybe a maximum of 10 minutes of your time researching. Here's a little tip. Be specific with whatever search engine you're using, okay? Be specific with your questions. Like, for example, can I really grow a peach tree to full mature size in 1 week if I put baking soda on the soil? Whatever it may be, okay? Be specific about your questions and do your own research. You'll often find that very important details are missing in these videos. Now, many of these videos have great editing. They have these people have great personalities and they're entertaining, so that motivates you, and I get it, okay? We've all been there. But make sure you're putting it through your own critical thinking, okay, and your own research. So another thing, correlation is not causation. So just because somebody took a banana peel and threw it in their pot and their plant happened to thrive after that, think scientifically. Was it, in fact, the banana peel that made it grow well? Maybe that particular container got more sunlight and/or water. Maybe a bird flew by and pooped onto that soil, therefore feeding your plant or plants, right? So correlation is not always causation. Okay, details matter. Correlation is not always causation. And another tip, gardening. You experienced gardeners might know what I'm about to understand what I'm about to say. Gardening is not a one-size-fits-all type of thing. There are multiple factors to consider. Different growing climates, different soil types, different amounts of organic matter in soil, different amounts of rainfall, depending on where you are. So think of the different factors and try to isolate certain things so that you can better, more scientifically, analyze the results. For example, I'm going to take you back to science class. Think of control and variable groups, okay? And the larger your population you're studying, in this case plants, the better, okay? You don't want to necessarily just compare one plant compared to another. If you can compare the growth of 5 plants in a certain situation compared to 5 other plants in a different situation, that's better than 1 compared to 1, if that makes sense. Now, you want to think scientifically. Get your controls in place. Like, for example, if I were to compare this lemongrass plant to this lemongrass plant, I would want as many things to be similar as possible. I would want them to have the same amount of sunlight, the same amount of water, and give the same amount of fertilizer, and maybe change one thing only as the variable group, and then observe, okay? Maybe take some notes, put some notes in your phone, whatever. Observe. Again, it's better done if you have 5 lemongrass plants with certain controls in place compared to 5 other lemongrass plants with preferably 1 variable. So think scientifically. Correlation is not causation. Do your own research, and they might be missing important details, okay? Think scientifically and filter it with critical thinking. Now, I understand it's hard to curb your enthusiasm at times, but there's a lot of misinformation out there in the gardening world and the world in general. There is no replacement for your own experiences. Do not discount the power of your own growing testimony, okay? If you have, let's use the example of hugelkultur. There's a lot of opinions, and then there's a lot of science when it comes to the hugelkultur growing method, all right? And a lot of people will advocate for that method of growing, but they'll miss certain details, like you need nitrogen in place, not just carbon, when you're filling your hugelkultur bed or building a hugelkultur mound. And There is no replacement for mine and my wife's experience with having phenomenal success with our Hugo culture method. So if you do it and it works, keep on going, keep on growing. As long as you're being responsible and you're not poisoning other people, you're not poisoning the environment, keep going out, getting after it. Keep going, folks. Keep doing it. Last but not least, there is no replacement for education, okay? I was commenting on a Facebook post that I saw earlier, and people were talking about how difficult gardening was. It's so difficult. And I explained, well, that depends, okay? There is growing and just getting by, and then there is optimal, maximizing your yields. The difference in that disparity, the difference between those two is education and also work. So there's no replacement for doing your own research, for gaining your knowledge. You folks should be binge watching mine and my wife's video on our channel, okay? Learning as much as you can. And there's no replacement as far as the work. What you put in is directly related to what you get out of it. We all like easy. We all want immediate gratification, okay, at times. And we all could be lazy at times, myself included. However, realize the difference between throwing a tomato in your compost pile and it growing and producing a tomato or tomatoes for you, and nurturing a tomato plant, pruning, watering intentionally, okay? Fertilizing it, trellising it. The difference can be dramatic when it comes to your yields. So no matter what you do, spend the time to educate yourselves, put in the work, and that's a lot better than just taking what seems to be the easy route. You want to hack, work hard, and educate yourselves, okay? I hope you found this valuable. Hopefully you will think of me in this video when next time you see something that looks really cool on social media, and you will keep these things in mind before you get to it, all right? Please subscribe, get involved in the comments below. Let's grow together as a community. Take care, everybody.